"Your Majesty, please, you must eat this meat." Inside the royal palace, bathed in a sea of tears, officials were weeping loudly as they forced meat dishes into the king's mouth, even risking the crime of defying a royal command. Recorded in the annals of the Joseon Dynasty on September 21, 1422, this is the bizarre food war that took place on the dining table of King Sejong the Great. The King Sejong we all know is the genius monarch who created the Korean alphabet and brought about a brilliant cultural renaissance. However, the human side of Edo, hidden within the historical records, is far beyond our imagination. He was an absolute meat fanatic. He would refuse to lift his spoon if there was no meat at every single meal, and he hated hunting or exercising so terribly that he was an incredibly sedentary man who only sat in his room reading books. The one who knew this weakness of his son better than anyone else was none other than the bloody monarch and his father, King Taejong. Facing his deathbed, Taejong left behind a staggering final well. The king cannot eat at all without meat, so even during the mourning period after I die, you must ensure he eats meat. Joseon was a nation strictly governed by Confucianism. During the 3-year mourning period for a parent, chewing meat itself was considered a massive taboo and extreme unfilial piety. Yet, the highest elder of the royal family shattered the very laws of etiquette to worry about his son's dining table. However, Sejong, armed to the bone with Confucian morals, rejected his father's final wish and embarked on a harsh vegetarian diet. The king, who could barely take a step without the energy from meat, began to survive solely on coarse herbs and plain white porridge. The results were absolutely devastating. In the folklore that circulated among the common people, there are fascinating fictional tales of Sejong throwing his spoon in a fit of rage, or the royal scholars secretly sneaking beef jerky in their sleeves for the king. There is even a mythical imagination added to the mix, claiming that the ghost of Taejong appeared every night, fiercely scolding his son to eat meat immediately. But the true history conveyed by the official annals was much more desperate and profound than these fictional imaginations. Sejong's body rapidly collapsed. The thirst disease he suffered from his youth due to excessive meat consumption and lack of exercise, which is modern-day diabetes, struck him with terrifying complications. He was losing his eyesight to an eye disease that made everything look foggy, and his energy depleted so much that he struggled just to stand up from his seat. Despite all this, Sejong endured his failing health to attend to state affairs. Even the strict minister of rites, Jo, had no choice but to bend his own belief against eating meat during mourning. The royal physician's desperate pleas and the tearful begging of the high officials continued. Ultimately, caught in the terrible internal conflict between survival and filial piety, Sejong had to pick up his spoon and chew meat again for the sake of the nation. It was not gluttony for the pleasure of the mouth. It was the lonely decision of a genius monarch, forcing his crumbling body to hold on so he could survive and continue ruling for his people. No matter how great a sage king he was, poor eating habits eventually become a fatal poison that eats away at the body. This vivid struggle with illness, serving as a warning of lifestyle diseases for modern people, shows that Sejong was a human being with the same cravings and agonies as us. Even amid the physical agony of nearing blindness from diabetic complications and being so weak he would collapse without chewing meat, he never stopped his great calling of creating the Korean alphabet. Much like the old idiom "식소 사번," meaning eating little but working too much, it is because of his ultimate sacrifice that we can enjoy this beautiful writing system today. This is the end of today's fascinating tale. If you are curious about the next story, please press subscribe and like right now.